In this video, we are going to use Excel to describe, explore, and comparing the data. If you watch my lecture videos, I already showed you how to use the Raphing TI-84 calculator to carry out a lot of the calculations. But in this video, we are going to explore how we can use Excel on those situations. The first function that we are going to discuss is how to find the mean of a data set. So imagine that I have a data set from 1 to 50. So I have 50 points for the data set. And I'm looking to find the mean value of the 50 values. The mean values or the average value of the whole data set can be found by using the average functions. So on Excel, you are going to click on a box, a cells, in the Excel, and then hit the equal sign, so that now you want Excel to do something for you. In this case, you want to find the mean, so we use the average function. So we type AVE RAGE and then open parentheses, and now you want to include all the data set. So you click on the first cell and hold the mouse and then drag it all the way down to the last number right here, and then release the mouse. And you can see that we are going from A1, A column, A1 column, and then all the way down to A50. And now we just close it and hit enter. So this is the mean value or the average value of the whole data set. The next thing is you want to find the median of the data set. We can also do that here. So this is the mean. Now you want to find the median. We can also do that. So first thing is you need to enter the equal sign. And then we use the function median. And then the same idea as before. Now I know that I go from A1 to A50, so I can simply type A1 and then colon and then A50, which is the whole list, and then close everything. And that will give me the median value, which is 150.5. The median value is just the value in the middle of the data set. The next functions is the mode. You can also use the mode functions to find the mode of the data set. Now, when talking about the mode, there are two types of the mode functions. The Excel function mode.sngl. This is used to find a single mode of a data set. But be very careful. If there is more than one mode, then Excel only use the first mode. So for example, if I use the mode, so maybe let me type another data set 55662. So you know that right here, number 2 is repeated 2 times, number 6 is repeated 2 times, and number 2 is repeated 2 times. So they are equal. So if I use a mode, if I press equal mode dot single as ngl. Actually, let me go over here. Over here. Equal mode dot as ngl. And then I go the whole list here. And then I enter. Then it only gives me one value, which is the first mode. And if there's no mode, then the Excel will display the n slash a or not none apply. Now, if the data have more than one mode, then we should use the mode.mult multiple, so that it can be used to correctly display the number of the mods that we have. Now, if we use this formula, we must enter correctly as an array formula using the procedure that I'm going to show you here. But be very careful. If the formula is not correctly entered as an array formula, it will use only the first mod, which is the same thing that you used earlier, the mod.sngl. Alright, so how do I use this one? So first thing is you are going to select a range of the empty cells. So select a range of the empty cells in the single column adjacent to the data. So I'm going to select this empty cells, in which the multiple mods results will be displayed. Now select these cells by clicking the top empty cells in the range, and then while holding down the mouse button, drag the cursor to the bottom of the empty cell. So we just drag it to the bottom of the empty cells. If you don't know how many mods the data has, then just select File More Empty Cells to display the results. Okay. Alright, so with the empty cells still selected here, now enter equal mod.mult. This is the multiple mods, and then open, and we select the whole thing here, and then close it, and then after enter the formula, you press the Control Shift Enter. So press the Control Shift Enter at the same time. Control Shift Enter at the same time, and then it will give you the answer. So make sure that after you entering the formula, you are going to press the keyboard Control plus Shift and plus Enter. Make sure you press these three keyboards at the same time. If you are using Mac, then you should press the command functions. So Control Shift Enter at the same time. Then it will give you the value. Alright, because we select more cells, that's why we have the extra cells, and therefore it just display the NA here. But that is fine. We know that we have three mods: mod 5, mod 6, and mod 2. They are all the mods because they happen 2 times, and they are all equal. So we have 3 mods here. But make sure that you select enough cells so that we can have enough places to store the mods of the functions. So the mod is a little bit tricky, that you should pay attention here in order to know exactly how to correctly use the mod function. 2 types for the mod function, but normally we will select the multiple mod so that we can get the correct answer. Now we can also find the mid-range functions of the data set. So to find the mid-range functions, I know that the mid-range, I can find that by getting the maximum minus the minimum value and then divide by 2. So in this formula, in this data set, I can easily find the max, I can find the max, and I can find the mean, and I can find the mid-range. That is very easy. So how do I find the max? Well, the max I can find that by using equal the max functions. So the max functions, and then I just go from here and then all the way down to a 50, and then close everything. So the max number from the list is 308. The mean, I just use equal mean. I know I go from A1 colon and then A50. And then the mid-range, the mid-range is easy. We can find the mid-range by just getting the max. So you click on the max minus the min, and then close, and then divide by 2. And that is the value of the mid-range. Well, if you want to find the range, you can also do that. Excel does not have a range function, but after we know the max and the min, we can easily find the range. The range is simply just the maximum minus the minimum value. So I press equal, I press the max, I minus the min, and it will give me the range function, the range value. The next function we are going to learn is the standard deviations. So we can also use Excel to find the standard deviation of a population. The Excel function stdev, standard deviation dot p, can be used to calculate the standard deviations for an entire population. So for example, consider this is the entire population, and we can find the standard deviation of that by pressing the equal sign and then add stdev dot p. Dot p means this is the standard deviation of the population. And then we go from A1 all the way down to A50, which is the same data list here. And then press the enter key. So this is the standard deviation of the populations. Now we can also use Excel to calculate the variance. This is the standard deviations. Now we can do the variance. We can also do that, and Excel is using the functions var.add to find the variance for a set of sample data. So for example, I have this data list here, and this is a sample, and I want to find the variance for that sample. I can press the equal sign and press var. This is variance dot s. Dot s mean sample. Okay, and then again we go from A1 colon and then A50, and then close everything. So this is the variant for the sample. So dot s is sample, dot p is the populations. So make sure you pay attention to the question that they are asking. If they are asking you for the sample, we use dot s. If they are asking you for populations, we use dot p. The next objective is to use Excel to find the z-scores. Well, in Excel, the standardized functions can be used to find a z-score for an individual sample value. So let's see how we can do that on Excel. So first thing is you need to click on a single cell and then click on insert the functions. So go to insert, tab here. Actually go to formulas, insert function. Okay, so click on the cell, click on formulas tab, and click on insert function. And then from here, you are going to select the drop down menu here, and then click on statistical, because we are using the statistical formula for our statistic class. And here you are looking for the standardized functions, so you can scroll down looking for the S standardized. So the S is all the way down here. So it looks like the S is around here. Standardized. Okay, click that. And now you see that the formula here, it takes the input of X, comma, the mean value, comma, the standard deviations. And if you input these three values, it will return a normalized value from a distribution characterized by a mean and a standard deviation. So click OK. Now, for example, I have the X value, maybe 99, and then maybe I have the mean of 98.5, and the standard deviations maybe 0.35. And then you see that the result is right here, 1.4 right here. That is the z-score. And you can also click OK, and this is the z-score. So if you double click on that, you see that we are using the function standardized, and then the first one is the value, the second one is the mean, and the third one is the standard deviations, and it will give you the z-score. Now the next objective is to find a percentile. We can also use Excel to find percentile, and usually we use the functions percentile.inc to help you to find the percentile. But this function is a little bit tricky here for using Excel. When calculating the percentiles and quartiles, the Excel uses a slightly different approach than the simplified one that we learned from the lecture. So there will often be a discrepancy between the results that we get from Excel and the results that we get from the lecture. Alright, so just keep in mind of that so that you don't panic when you don't see the same answers from the Excel. Alright, so now, for example, I have the same data set here, A1 to A50. And then I just want to find some percentile of that data. So for example, I want to find the 40 percentile of that. So what I do now is I click on a single cell, right? And then again, I go to formula, I click on insert the functions. And then I choose statistical, and then I pick the percentile, go to the P, percentile.inc. Okay, this will return the K percentile for values in a range where K is the range 0, 1 inclusive. So you're gonna click OK on that, and now you're gonna hit the arrays. The arrays is the whole set of data that we have here. Okay, and for the K value, okay, you have to enter the percentile in decimal value. So for example, if I'm looking for 40 percentile, I'm going to enter 0.4. If I'm looking for 50 percentile, I'm entering 0.5. So if I input 0.4, and it will give me this value, 143.6. That is the 40 percentile of this problem. Now, if you want to find a quartile, you can also use the function quartile.inc. Similar to this one, but instead of percentile, this is quartile. So let's try that. How about we press enter, and then we go formula, insert, and then we choose the quartile. So look for the Q. Q is around here. So quartile.inc, hit enter. Again, the array is the whole set of the data. And the quartile. Now, quark is a number. So if you want to look for the mean value, put in the 0. If you want to look for the first quartile, put in the 1. The median value, put in the 2. The third quartile, put in the 3, or the maximum, put in the 4. So maybe I'm looking for the first quartile, so I put in the 1, and that will give me this value right here, 127.75. This is the first quartile of the whole data set, and then just press the OK and to get the value. So you can use this one to help you to find the first quartile, third quartile, and from there you can find the interquartile range. After you find the third quartile, the first quartile, then take the third quartile, subtract the first quartile to get you the interquartile range, or the mid quartile, which is Q3 plus Q1 divided by 2, and so on.